Well, after completing an eventful Barkly River Jeep track and getting settled into camp yesterday, we spend the night around the campfire before waking up at 5 AM to a very different campsite.
Well, this is camp on a Monday morning. Swags are doing well. Angus is really living it over there in the fresh power. Mark has had, as you can imagine, a fair bit of weight sitting on that awning. Once again, done 3 of the pivots, we think. So that's another repair job. Got the old icicles happening on the guards of the patrol. I actually preferred my vehicle black, but turns out I don't have an option. Doesn't appear to be any snow on Matt's Hilux. Just a little bit on the bull bar. Pretty cool, something we haven't seen before. Jeep looks furious. So look, see what Angus is doing over here.
Morning, Nick.
How are you, mate?
Oh, spewing. Structural integrity of the igloo hasn't held up.
Bit of an igloo.
Swag though, phenomenal. Still warm. It's not hot.
I didn't expect to wake up to this much. I thought, I hope there's a little bit sitting on the ground.
As we're all sound asleep in our swags, we had no idea our campsite was going to be completely transformed around us. In the space of 6 hours, what was a grassy clearing has turned into a winter wonderland. It was an incredibly surreal moment, and one we won't forget for a very long time.
It's all fun and games until you need to pack up camp.
Oh, isn't it? Oh.
But this fairy tale soon turns into a nightmare. Because if there's one thing worse than trying to roll up a frozen swag, it's trying to pack up a frozen awning.
Wow, it's cold and frozen.
Bit of snow out.
After we risk frostbite in order to find our tent pegs, we fold the swags in half and strap the awnings in as best we can.
Well, that was an interesting night. Literally woke up, pushed an arm out swag, and was greeted with a nice fresh layer of snow. It's been an absolute nightmare for packing up. All the awnings are just strapped onto the side of the vehicle because we can't, they're all iced up, won't fold back up. Swags are just chucked on the back of Matt's ute. It's been a freaking nightmare, but it's pretty cool. Looks incredible. And we're just slowly driving back into La Cola, somewhere there. Hopefully we drop some altitude sometime soon and thaw these vehicles out.
None of us have driven in snow before, so it's slow and steady as we're taking every precaution. Everything looks fun and fluffy, but in reality, we want to stay away from the edges as much as possible. And with fallen trees across the road, it's becoming quite a challenge. a slow but scenic drive, we reach camp with plenty of time to spare. This should allow us time to have nice hot coals for a couple of camp ovens, and Nick to have a look at the hubs on the patrol. Patrol hubs are a known weak link, hence why Nick always carries spares. The good thing about these is they are a lot easier to replace rather than a CV or a diff. With just 6 bolts, the old one is off and the new one can be fitted. It's critical to not only carry spares and tools, but also know how to use them. By doing your own maintenance at home in the shed will make you a lot more comfortable when a breakdown occurs out in the mud.
Exhibit A. Good, bad. Well, they're both bad, but this one's extra bad. What do you got there, Matt?
A little bit of snow from up in the hills.
You bring it with you?
Brought it with us. Thought we might need some for our drinks.
Snow drinks.
Snow cones.
Another cold morning is made bearable by fire and coffee. Today we're going to be checking out a couple more fall drive tracks, and if we're lucky, maybe even start heading over towards Dargo for a delicious pub feed. After a face full of smoke and some breakfast, we roll the swags up and load up for the day.
Oh yeah. We're just rolling out of camp, just out of Lacola. We're heading back south. We're going to go onto the Burgoyne track this morning, and then we're going to get onto Mount Margret track, I think it's called. And then we're going to head towards Dargo. If we get to Dargo today, we get to Dargo. If we don't, we'll camp somewhere up there. There's a Kelly hut track that we might even tackle on the way. So chances are we'll be camping up there somewhere. It's going down.
Front bloody bumper guards caught on the wheel again.
Roger. Sounds like we need a hammer.
This same problem occurred when we were in Tasmania. The fix last time was a big hammer, but there's clearly something not right if it's happening again.
We've been here before, haven't we, Matt?
Been here before.
Well, not here.
Not here. First time here, actually.
More. Just take it off.
So, to avoid any more problems, Matt's just going to remove it altogether.
New hot plate.
And with that minor hold-up resolved, we've got a short drive to the next trail.
Here we are at the beginning of the Burgoyne track. And I think we're good to go by the sound of it. Hopefully make it to the Dargo tonight for a bit of a pub feed. Should be good.
Quiet one at Dargo would be nice.
See how far we get on this track, I suppose.
Yeah.
A couple of schooners will go down the tree.
We'll go down the tree.
We turn off of the main road, straight onto the trail. Unfortunately, this does cut some of the track off, but this is the direction we need to go. Typical high country drive. Lots of driving up, and views for days. It's looking like the grader has been through recently, so it may be more of a scenic drive rather than a tough drive. But either way, we've never been here before, so it's still an adventure.
I've heard that it may be a switchback.
As we crest another hill, we witness a sudden change in scenery caused by bushfires that ran through this area recently. It's a constant threat in this part of the country and often devastating. Bushfires do, however, promote regrowth and bring new life to the bush.
It's this little slippery one. We just got the winch out and make it easier. So it's backing down and sliding. I already have slid a bit to the side, so this is probably the best way of doing it.
As Matt's already halfway up the hill and slid off track, he can't get a good crack at it. So Nick's going to have to turn around and winch him up too. There's nothing too technical about this recovery. The Hilux just needs that extra pull due to those Goodyear Wranglers clogging up with this slippery clay.
You all good, Matthew?
Yep, good mate.
And now that Mark's seen how not to do it, he can back up for a little bit more speed. What did I tell you, Nick? The final descent down the Mount Margret track is an absolute ripper. Good luck getting up this one after a light shower. Red clay and water can make for some hairy situations. And with the next camp only a stone's throw away, we'll be setting up in no time at all.
You got pants on, Matthew?
Oh shit, yeah.
What have you been doing?
Having a bit of a nature wash.
Nature wash. What do you got there?
Better. With safety soap and a beer. That's all you need.
Hope you didn't get them mixed up.
Wash yourself with a beer, yeah?
Matt had a nice cold wash in the local river. I'm going to have a warm shower with that there jerry can. So this is a bit of a homemade shower jobby that we've put together. It's just an old toolbox. 12-volt pump. It's got a little thumper in there, a little deep cycle battery, like a 15 ampere. Just plumbed it up. Got a shower head. This is actually off the tracker. And yeah, just plumbed it up. Jerry can. A metal jerry can, so we can just heat up some river water next to the fire, and then basically should have hot water in a minute.
So after everyone's doled themselves up under the shower, we're settled down for another episode of The Campfire.
We ended up camping down there near Lacola last night after Burgoyne and Mount Margret track. Mark had little fuel, so we weren't going to attempt this yesterday afternoon at like 3 o'clock when we got off of that. So we camped near Lacola, went and got fuel this morning, have a bit of a gas bag to the local dude that runs this general store there. He said you shouldn't have too much of a drama up heading to Dargo on the top road. They've got a hell of a lot of snow and some icy sections, he seems to think, so it'll still be an eventful drive. But yeah, we'll give it a crack. Hopefully we can get through, get a nice warm counter meal, Dargo pub tonight. Snow just starting to fall, Mark.
Yeah, we just pulled up for a bit of a look out here. Someone comes.
Good information board here too.
Oh, as you can see,
Snow.
there's a hole out there,
Yes.
and yeah, quite often it's all Snow.
Snow, yeah.
Yeah, just white. As we finally climb altitude again, the landscape turns into that magical white fluffy playground. Being the first decent falls of the snow season, the roads seem almost untravelled, and with nobody else in sight, it really feels like we've stumbled across uncharted territories. With no guarantee that this route is even possible, the question on all of our minds is, will we get through to that elusive schooner at the Dargo pub?